Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Friday, June 30th, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comment section below. Milwaukee Brewers vs Pittsburgh Pirates. The Milwaukee Brewers have been brutal at the plate this season, as they are 27th in the sport with a .675 team ops while scoring 4.01 runs per game. They have been even worse on the road as they have a .660 ops while averaging 3.78 runs in their 40 road games up to this point. Left fielder Christian Yelich has been hitting well as he has a .277, .372, .435 line with 9 homers, 36 RBIs, 54 runs scored, and 18 stolen bases on 20 attempts. Freddie Peralta has been pitching pretty well when diving into his baseball saving page, as he is in the 79th percentile in whiff percentage, 68th percentile in average exit velocity, 62nd percentile in strikeout percentage, and 57th percentile in hard hit percentage. He has 4 different pitches: fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, and his best pitch has been the curveball as hitters have a .196 batting average and a .304 slugging percentage. Peralta faced the Pirates once this season as he did not factor into the decision as he threw 6 innings and allowed 2 runs on 2 hits with 3 walks and 9 strikeouts. The Pittsburgh Pirates have been struggling a bit offensively throughout the year so far as they are 22nd in baseball with a .707 ops while averaging 4.18 runs per game. They have been doing a decent job inside of PNC Park in over 40 games. They have a .247, .329, .377 line while scoring 4.1 runs per game. Designated hitter Andrew McCutchen has been hitting well as he has a .830 ops with 9 home runs, 25 RBIs, 36 runs scored, and 9 steals while being caught 3 times. The Milwaukee Brewers have a perfect record against the Pittsburgh Pirates this season with a 15-6 run differential. The Brewers have been outscoring the Pirates by an average of 2.5 runs per game in these matchups. Additionally, the Brewers have a better offense than the Pirates, averaging 3.92 runs per game in their last 12 games, compared to the Pirates' 3 runs per game in their last 14 games. Historically, the Brewers have also dominated this matchup, winning 47 of the previous 68 games against the Pirates. Based on these factors, I recommend betting on the Milwaukee Brewers to win this game on the road. When looking at the pitching splits throughout the year, neither pitcher has been doing well, as Freddie Peralta is 1-4 with a 5.94 ERA and a .285 opposing batting average in 6 road games, while Lisvaldo Beto is 0-1 with a .217 batting average against and a 4.50 ERA in his only home start thus far. These bullpens are not getting enough outs as Milwaukee is 13th with a 3.89 reliever ERA, while Pittsburgh is 23rd with a 4.36 bullpen ERA so far this year. The over is 24.94 in the last 37 games between one another played at PNC Park, so take over 8.5 runs here. Boston Red Sox vs Toronto Blue Jays. Things were looking up again for the Sox when they swept the Yankees a little over a week ago, but after that they went 3-6 in their next 9 games to dip under .500. Going into Thursday night they were riding a 4-game losing streak in which they had scored just 8 total runs. Boston's offense has been fairly productive throughout the season, with 397 runs through 81 games, the 8th most in baseball. They were also hitting .260 as a team with a .423 slugging percentage. Rafael Devers continues to disappoint at the plate, hitting just .242 with 14 RBIs and 16 runs in 25 games in June. On the year, the Sox third baseman is hitting .245. The Blue Jays have had a steady back and forth with wins and losses, going 5-2 in their last 7, but 5-5 in their last 10. Over those 5 wins, Toronto pitching allowed just 8 runs combined, and on the year they've allowed 342 runs through 81 games, the 12th fewest overall. Their 3.93 team ERA ranked 12th best overall, as was their 1.25 team whip. Barrios bounced back from a rough outing in his last start, earning a win after allowing 2 runs, 6 hits and 2 walks over 6 innings against Oakland. In June, the Toronto starter is 3-1 with a 3.03 ERA, allowing only 3 home runs over 5 starts. In 11 career starts against Boston, Barrios is 1-5 with a 4.15 ERA. The Blue Jays and Red Sox met earlier this season, with the Red Sox sweeping the series 4-0. However, a lot has changed since then. The Blue Jays have improved their pitching and hitting, while the Red Sox have been dealing with injuries and have a poor defense. The Blue Jays are also playing well at home, while the Red Sox have struggled on the road. Barrios has been pitching well this month, and Paxton has allowed a home run in each of his last 2 starts. I recommend betting on the Blue Jays on the money line. In the first series between these teams this season, they averaged a total of 12.8 runs per game, with all 4 games going over. That made it 8 straight games between these two that have eclipsed the total. On the season, they've combined to see 81 of their games hit over. Blue Jays hitters have pushed across 33 runs over their last 5 wins. Boston's offense is bound to bounce back, and though Barrios has been strong this month, he's far from a sure thing when it comes to putting up zeros. The Toronto starter gave up 5 earned runs, 11 hits, and 2 home runs against Boston in a 6-5 loss on May 1st. Things should be similar this time around. Take the over. San Diego Padres vs Cincinnati Reds. San Diego enters this game having lost their past 5 straight games and having been swept by the Pirates in their previous series. In their most recent 5-4 loss, Joe Musgrove got the start for the Padres, tossing 6 innings, in which he allowed 7 hits that resulted in 2 runs, while striking out 6. Tim Hill then came in and got the loss, allowing 3 runs in a third of an inning, leaving Luis Garcia to throw the rest of the game. On the offensive end, the Padres totaled 7 hits and 4 runs in the game. Ha-Seong Kim had the only multi-hit game, going 2-3 with a home run he hit in the 5th, while Trent Grisham also hit a 2-run home run in the 2nd. Overall, it was a tough loss for the Padres, as the pitching was not enough to get the job done this game. Cincinnati enters this game having won their previous series against the Orioles, losing the first game and winning the next 2. In their most recent 11-7 win, Luke Weaver got the start for the Reds and threw 4.1 innings, in which he allowed 6 hits that resulted in 4 runs. The Reds then used 7 different pitchers to finish the game, with Alexis Diaz getting the win in the 9th. On the offensive end, the Reds totaled 16 hits and 11 runs in the game. There were a handful of multi-hit games for the Reds, with TJ Friedl going 3-5 with 3 RBIs and 3 runs scored from the team's only home run. Overall, it was a great win for the Reds, as the bats really powered them past the Orioles in Game 3. The Reds give right-hander Graham Ashcraft the start for Game 1 in hopes of taking an early series lead and the team's 3rd win in a row. Ashcraft has had a rough start to the season, posting a 3-6 record, along with a 7.17 ERA and a 1.67 WHIP in his first couple of starts. His most recent start came against the Braves, in which he tossed 4 innings and allowed 10 hits that resulted in 6 earned runs. I would expect a slightly better performance from Ashcraft in his upcoming start, given his previous outing was against the Braves. I recommend betting on the Cincinnati Reds to win the money line. The Reds are currently on a hot streak, having won 4 of their last 5 games. They have also been scoring a lot of runs, averaging 5.2 runs per game in their last 10 games. The Padres, on the other hand, have been struggling, having lost 3 of their last 4 games. They have also been struggling to score runs, averaging just 3.8 runs per game in their last 10 games. The pitching matchup is relatively even, with both teams starting a right-handed pitcher with an ERA of around 4.00. However, I think the Reds have the edge in terms of offense. They have a more balanced lineup, with several players who can hit for power and average. The Padres, on the other hand, are heavily reliant on their top 2 hitters, Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. The Reds are also playing at home, which is always a plus. They have a better record at home than on the road, and they are known for their energetic home crowd. The Padres, on the other hand, are coming off a tough road trip in which they were swept by the Orioles. They are likely to be tired and demoralized. Overall, I think the Reds are the better team and they should win this game. I recommend betting on them to win the money line. Taking the over in this game for a couple of reasons. We see a subpar pitching matchup this game, with the Padres' Seth Lugo facing off against the Reds' Graham Ashcraft. Lugo has posted a 4.01 ERA and a 1.32 WHIP, while Ashcraft has posted a 7.17 ERA and a 1.67 WHIP. These starters should give up plenty of runs in the early innings, and both bullpens should allow additional runs to be scored in the late innings, based on their performances in each team's previous series. In terms of trends, the Padres have gone over in 3 of their past 4 overall, and the Reds have gone over in their past 5 games, with a total set at 11 or higher. In addition, when these teams have faced off in the past, they have gone over in 4 of their past 5 meetings in Cincinnati, making me all the more confident in taking the over for this matchup. Our total pick is over 11 points.